All right, so I believe that girls lie just as much as boys do, but the only difference is the timing of their lies. Now, here's the thing: when you are when you are dealing with a very young guys don't really have a lot to offer, and so because they don't have a lot to offer, and simply because they're young, they haven't really had the opportunity to build up any skills, build up any sort of repertoire, build up any sort of wealth. They will have to mask a lot of their incompetencies in lies. And so they will come up with all of these stories of who they are or who they might be. And those are a lot of the lies that women tend to experience, especially in the early stages of a guy's life. As a guy gets older, he starts to actually accumulate some of those skills that he had, that he originally talked about. He actually starts to accumulate some wealth, some respect, and some connections in society. And so, because he starts to accumulate those things, there is no longer the need for him to lie about those things. And also, you find that a lot of guys tend to become more and more comfortable in the men that they are. And because they're more comfortable in who they are, and they're more comfortable with who likes them and who doesn't like them, the need for lying starts to slowly fade away. And so you end up arriving at this position as a man whereby you are so comfortable in who you are that you are probably your most authentic self, and that usually happens around the age of your around late 20s, early 30s, and onwards, basically. And so as a guy gets older, he becomes a bit more honest with the women around him and with his own connections and friends and basically his circles, because he no longer needs to posture in order to get what he wants. However, women on the other hand, when women are younger, women do not need to lie, because one of the things that a lot of young girls have in excess is attention, a lot of attention from men. And because they have a variety of options, there is no need for them to sort of mold themselves into anything for any particular guy. So they have no lies to really tell. And because of that, they can be their most authentic self at that young age. And so, because they have all of these options, she does not mind repelling one guy because she'll attract five more, simply because she's 22 and having a good time. However, as that woman gets older, if she fails to, let's say, secure a long term relationship, what tends to happen is that a lot of girls come to the realization that their authentic self and their authentic character might not be what boys are looking for. And so what ends up happening is somewhere around after the age of 27, 28, a lot of girls tend to sort of try and mold themselves into a version that they feel will be most appealing to guys. And so that's why when you go on dates, there are a lot of women who ask you, what's your type of girl? What type of woman are you into? And as soon as you give her that information, lo and behold, she becomes that type of woman. She starts acting in that way. She starts treating you in that way. And all of that is in an effort to try and, basically trap you. And that is the lie that women sell, most especially if their authentic self cannot get them the relationship that they want. They mold themselves, at least temporarily, into a version of themselves that is more acceptable for the men that they are trying to attain. And so that the conclusion to this is that when guys are younger, they are more prone to lying in order to get what they want, because they're trying to posture and they're trying to come across as bigger than what they actually are. And as they get older, the need for those lies starts to dwindle and go away, because they actually start to become some of those things. Whereas the women lie when they're older as opposed to when they're younger, because when they're older, they have considerably less options and they're trying their best to secure a long-term relationship from those dwindling options. And so they will mold themselves into whatever version of themselves is necessary in order for them to get that long-term relationship.